Welcome to the David Pakman Show. I am Farron Cousins from Ring of Fire and Fair and Balanced, sitting in for David once again today. And wow, do we have a lot of stuff to cover. Donald Trump continues to get smacked down by the courts, and now his own vice president, along with the real president, Elon Musk, are threatening to just not listen to the courts. A lot to talk about with all of that. Trump voters are suddenly realizing that he's brought nothing but chaos to the White House, much to their shock, but I guess they haven't been paying attention to the man for the last 9 years. And Donald Trump went to the Super Bowl on Sunday and did not have a good time, and made sure that he let the entire country know about it. We've got all of that plus so much more coming up on today's show, so let's get right to it. Donald Trump suffered yet another legal blow on Monday when a federal judge told him and his entire administration that you guys are violating my court order that said you couldn't freeze the federal funding that you had tried to freeze, and therefore you must immediately release all of that funding. That order was handed down by U.S. District Judge John McConnell when he said in his ruling, quote, "The broad, categorical, and sweeping freeze of federal funds is, as the court found, likely unconstitutional and has caused and continues to cause irreparable harm to a vast portion of this country. These pauses in funding violate the plain text of the order." In other words, I told you to unfreeze the funding, so by God, you better unfreeze the funding. Because, as we all know, Donald Trump had issued his initial executive order that said, hey, we're freezing all the funding, the loans, the grants, funding for these departments. Everything is frozen. And the Judge McConnell came out after it was immediately challenged in court and said, no, you actually can't do that. I'm putting a pause on your freeze, which was supposed to mean all the money keeps flowing. But Trump and his administration decided they didn't want to do that. So they kept the freeze in place against the court's orders. Now that money has to continue to flow. But what's really funny to me is that Trump's lawyers went in front of the judge. They were like, hey, judge, we have to keep it frozen because there's so much waste and fraud and abuse. So, that's why we're doing this. And the judge didn't buy it for a second. Didn't even come close to accepting that as a viable argument. The judge said in response to that claim, quote, "The freezes in effect now were a result of the broad categorical order, not a specific finding of possible fraud." So Trump's people went to the judge and said, listen, there's so much fraud, we had to freeze it. And the judge is like, that's cool, but that's not why you froze it in the first place. Okay? So don't try to pull the wool over my eyes and tell me that you did it because of reason X, when reason X didn't even exist when you did the order. Here's the thing about Donald Trump. He and the people he's surrounded himself with, they're great at lying. They can pull off massive cons on millions of people in this country. We have obviously seen it happen in the last 3 elections. We have seen it happen with the people conned into buying Trump sneakers or Trump coin, or any of his other horrible products. But the people he's not able to con are the judges, for the most part, right? You can lie to the public all you want. Nothing we can do about it. But you go into the courtroom and you try to convince a judge that something that didn't happen somehow did happen, you're not going to win, ever. Unless, of course, that judge's name is Eileen Cannon. Then, of course, she'll buy it hook, line, and sinker, and you'll get off with everything. But these judges, like Judge McConnell here, he's not falling for Donald Trump's crap, and that's going to create a world of problems for them in the future.
One of our sponsors today is Winchester Wobble Wand Books. Children's books by Winchester Wobble Wand are designed to inspire a lifelong love of reading and creativity for children and families. And the latest book from Winchester Wobble Wand is called The Snooze Who Refused to Choose. This is a whimsical story that takes you into Snooze Town, where the snooze would much rather nap than make decisions. But when the town's troubles grow and young voices plead for help, the snooze faces a choice he can no longer ignore. It really is a heartwarming tale that introduces kids to the importance of voting, the power of small voices, and the courage to take action in their communities. Every month, Winchester Wobble Wand releases a new book, so there's always a new adventure to enjoy. Each book includes a design contest where readers can showcase creativity and win $500 for their hand-drawn illustrations. You can get The Snooze Who Refused to Choose and explore other Winchester Wobble Wand books on Amazon or by visiting wobblewand.com. The link is in the description.